episode, a special Saturday night edition of the RCWR show for October 5th, 2019. This is your Wow Women of Wrestling October 5th, 2019 review reaction edition of the RCWR show. Gotta tell you, man, if y'all have not come on board yet in checking out Wow Women of Wrestling, what are you guys waiting for? What has been the holdup? There is no excuse whatsoever. Now look, when it's all said and done, this show, it does repeat as well as New Japan Pro Wrestling a couple of times during the night, as well as maybe some of your other favorite shows that's out there. I do understand that everybody needs to kind of decompress and everything. One thing that's been a recurring theme the past couple of weeks since I've been covering WoW is I'll see some people that'll react and they'll say, oh man, I'm watching this other show, or oh hey, I'm watching this. And hey, look, to each its own. If it's a case where you're trying to decompress, you're trying to give yourself a little bit of a mental break from the wrestling, there's nothing wrong with that. For some fans, there is such thing as a little bit too much wrestling or whatever. But if you have yet to check out Wow Women of Wrestling, my question to you, what has been the holdup? Because you guys are missing out on a lot of really cool, fun stuff, okay? And I promise you, it is the fastest hour that goes by really fast. And if you just take away the commercial breaks, I would say at most, you're probably watching about maybe somewhere between 35 to it feels like maybe 37 minutes of wrestling content when it's all said and done, right? Just to kind of summarize it. So, I mean, you're literally in and now pretty much kick on back, enjoy the rest of your night afterwards, all right? So, as always, when we do this, love hearing from those of you in particular that have watched Wow Women of Wrestling, whether you let your voice be heard in the chat, you comment, or you interact with me throughout social media. And remember, every single Saturday night when WoW is on, if you got the Twitter handy or you got Discord, two things that are free, you can download those on any device, right? Especially the Discord. You can definitely watch along with me as I'm checking out WoW. And something that we're going to try to implement in a couple of weeks in my Discord server, we're going to introduce, I'm playing around with the software, but I'm basically going to have like some watch along. So you'll be able to enter our Discord chat. You'll be able to watch WoW and other stuff with me, chat in the Discord server and everything. It's going to be really cool. I've been playing around with it. If anybody wants to maybe volunteer, be some test subjects, work out the kinks or whatnot, get at me all throughout social media and everything. All right, so look, before we dive into the coverage of tonight's Wow Women of Wrestling, we've got some really cool sponsors that we've hooked up with, and I definitely want to give that acknowledgement to them because these are some really, really cool sponsors that I think you guys will definitely enjoy, and we're very happy to be partnering up with them. So I do want you to make sure you show them some love, listen to these ads, and if it applies to you, a loved one, a friend, associate, please definitely make sure you pass the information along to them if it doesn't apply to you and your household, of course. All right. So first up, or one advertiser that I want to tell you about is NANA-BANA, right? Oh my God, these guys are really cool. I'm telling you, man, I did good with regards to the sponsors this go round. All right. So we're going to go ahead. We're going to let some of these ads play. And we're going to come on back and we will jump right all into it. Once again, our first ad that we got for tonight's WoW coverage, it is from NANA-BANA. Check these guys out. This episode of the RCWR show with Lee Sanders covering Wow Women of Wrestling Fallout is brought to you in part by NANA-BANA. Hey fellas, listen up. If you're trying to find some great gifts for your girl, have I got something cool for you? And hey, you ladies out there listening, looking to buy something cool, hey, check this out. If you want the very best in handbags, purses, backpacks, all with exclusive designs you're not going to be able to find anywhere else, head on over to NANA-BANA. Their prices are so low and so unbeatable. NANA-BANA, folks, remember that name. Based out in Las Vegas, Nevada, here in the United States. They will ship anywhere in the world. Ready to update your style? Ready to look fresh, stylish, and trendy? Head on over to NANA-BANA right now. Head to their website at NANA-BANA.com NANA-BANANA.com. Let me spell that out for you. That's NANA-B as in boy, ANANA.com. One more time, nana-banana.com. Once again, nana-banana.com. And if you've missed any of that information, have no fear. I've included the link in the episode description of this very episode that'll take you directly to their website, NANA-BANANA. Hey y'all, the RCWR show with Lee Sanders is brought to you in part by LilHeathens.com. Check them out, bookmark that website. They got the hottest, flyest street and athletic wear. It's not your average brand either, as it's got angst and attitude. Lil Heathen's slogan, strictly attitude, as the brand itself is not about letting anyone define you or tell you who you are and what's appropriate for you to be you. Check them out, LilHeathens.com. For those of you that don't even know how to spell that, I'm going to spell it for you. LILHTHENZ. LilHeathens.com. Strictly Attitude. LilHeathens.com. Strictly Attitude. LilHeathens.com. Hey ladies, attitude. Listen up. You know Lee loves the ladies. I know there's some of you out there like myself that struggle with weight loss. It can be such a roller coaster as your weight goes up and down, up and down. You've probably tried the Smart Ones and the Weight Watchers frozen meals, drinking special diet teas, hit the gym, missed a few meals even, and nothing seems to work. Well, I've got something for you ladies that does work and is sure to deliver guaranteed results. It's called the Cinderella Solution. It all started from one woman who discovered the female fat loss code missed by modern medicine. And as a result of that, she was able to lose a whopping 84 pounds. That's right, folks. She lost 84 pounds using a simple two-step ritual that guarantees weight loss results. It's totally safe, folks, so you're not at risk or at any harm whatsoever. You've tried everything else. Now, try something that actually will work and won't disrupt your life. You've got nothing to lose and a lot to gain. For more information, head on over to Chris Harte, spelled HARTE 88.clickfunnels, funnels spelled FUNNELS.com/OPTIN. I'm going to give that to you one more time. Chris Harte 88.clickfunnels.com/OPTIN. Once again, for more information on the Cinderella Solution, head on over to Chris Harte 88.clickfunnels.com/OPTIN. Once again, for more information on the Cinderella Weight Loss Solution, head over to Chris Harte 88.clickfunnels.com/OPTIN. And if you've missed all of that information, have no fear, we've included it in the episode description of this very episode. Yes, we are back. All right, make sure you show some love and check out those sponsors. Really awesome to be partnering up with them for this week's episode. Reaction edition episode of the RCWR show covering Wow Women of Wrestling Fallout review. All right, let's jump into it without any further ado, man. You know how it is when we get to hook up with some awesome sponsors, man. We got to take care of business. But from here on now, here we go. We're talking all things wrestling. I love how tonight's episode had began of Wow Women of Wrestling, by the way. Of course, we had the big cliffhanger from last weekend where we had saw Jungle Grrrl just snap. She just went belligerent on the Beast. Why, Jungle Grrrl? Why? Why would you do such a thing? Knowing that there's going to be a huge receipt that's going to need to be cashed in on you. Why would you do this? So we've baked in our own juices, so to speak, for about a week, wondering why Jungle Grrrl had did what she did. Over the course of her 18-year career in pro wrestling, involved in women's wrestling, we've never quite seen this side of her before. So what exactly gave? Why did she snap? Well, kicking off Women of Wrestling, we saw David McLean trying to figure out what was going on with Jungle Grrrl last week, demanding answers. as well as on behalf of the fans, trying to get answers for them and everything. Jungle Grrrl pretty much talking about how for the past 18 years, she has been the queen of the ring. She's been dedicated. She's been the most athletic. And that while there were other women many years ago that were having jello matches, she was setting the stone. She was laying down the foundation, participating in matches where she was jumping off of 25-foot ladders, doing unexpected things, all while at the same time elevating women's wrestling as a whole. She was training her body and her mind early in the morning, and by the time she would get done a few hours later doing what she needed to do, people were kicking back on their sofas, eating French fries, and doing nothing more than playing around with their phone. Now, Jungle Grrrl, I take great offense to what you just said there about that whole sitting on the sofa, eating French fries, and playing around with your phone. I will have you know, Jungle Grrrl, that actually what I eat is usually a ham, cheese, lettuce, tomato sandwich, Lay's potato chips, and a couple of carrots. God damn it. Let me make sure I'm setting the record straight on that, okay? All right. You broke me down a little bit, and I usually have a little piece of chocolate candy, even though I'm not supposed to. But that's not the point, okay? Still, I get the whole promo, all right? I get the whole promo. Loved it. I ate it all up. So obviously, okay, she's going heel. One of the ways you go heel, you insult the fans, okay? And it was very interesting how when she was beginning her promo, the fans were cheering her on. They were really feeling where she was coming from. And it didn't quite settle in for them just yet that, wait a minute, she's taking a turn for the worse and kind of seems like she's blowing back at us. Now, when you go back and you check out that first little bit of her promo, you're just nodding your head. You're like, okay, all right, she's frustrated. She can't take it no more. Okay, I feel where you're coming from. But then when she starts going in at the fans about their French fries and on the sofa and playing with their phone, that's when she pretty much was losing up and they start booing the hell out of her. I loved it. By the way, she came out to some interesting new attire. Now, if you've been watching WoW this season for the past couple of weeks, you know that usually when they cut to the entrances, they show Jungle Grrrl, one of the images they show of her, it looks like she's outside. And there's another one where she's inside. But the point is, her outfit is different. It looked kind of grayish, the outfit that you were seeing her in. So you're kind of like, oh, what's going on with that outfit? Because we're still seeing her in that dark green and everything. Well, the new outfit that I just mentioned that you normally saw in her little entrance package, that's what she had came out to. And the lighting is pretty interesting because we saw her involved in a main event match later on during the night. That main event match would consist of her taking on the Beast one-on-one. And she had some very choice words to say with regards to Beast and everything, which was basically, Beast, hey, you're so strong, won't you come out here and prove it? That's pretty much what she said straight up, right? So this kind of follows up a little bit on what I had said last week about possibly the idea of Jungle Grrrl feeling as though, hey, I've been putting in all this time. I've been here all these years, and now you got some of these youngins that's coming in here, and they're trying to lay claim to my crown. It's like, hey, I'm not even done yet. I'm still the queen of this damn thing. And then they trying to prove themselves. I think they need to prove themselves to me and everybody else. All right, so she's got a little bit of a chip on her shoulders. And I like how David McLane had went in throughout the night, especially during the main event match with Beast, basically talking about how, well, you know, if anything, as far as the demeanor in Jungle Grrrl, how it got to this point, you could almost make the argument that ever since she had her child, she going to call him Jungle Boy, and you're kind of like, which Jungle Boy we talking about here now? Because I'll just let you guys marinate on that one. Like, which Jungle Boy now? And, you know, it's like ever since she had her son, you know, she's had to step back just a little bit. She's become an entrepreneur. So David McLane just acknowledging all of that and putting a nice little ribbon around it, basically saying, you know, maybe she just feels as though, you know, time has kind of passed her by in the wrestling world a little bit, and she's looking to reclaim her days of past glory. She wants to prove that she is still at the very top of her game, not that what's happened with her in her life is setbacks or anything like that. So Beast did come out, speared the hell out of her. Man, that was a nice spear. Loved it. Speared the hell out of her. Officials came in there, breaking it all up. David McLean making that main event match for later on in the night. Beast taking on Jungle Grrrl. And yes, folks, it was a classic. We'll talk a little bit more about that later on. Next up, we had our first official match of the night. Fury from the Psycho stable there, taking on Fire, otherwise known as Kiera Hogan. Great opening matchup, by the way. Love this. This was really good. You've heard me the past couple of weeks, and I have given praise to Kiera Hogan, aka Fire. And for those of you that have maybe came on board a little late, but you kind of remember her work over in Impact Wrestling, do you now see what I'm talking about with her? I mean, everything is just slowly but surely coming together with her. I continue to be amazed. I continue to be impressed with her work. As I tell you, I'm looking at this match in particular against Fury. And one thing that kind of jumped out at me the most was, wow, this girl has, young woman, let me say young woman, this young woman in Fire, she has what a difference almost a year makes, because what I saw of her in Impact, and I can't help but kind of sound redundant here, because it's almost like night and day. Everything is just clicking for her on so many cylinders, and I'm loving it. That's the thing I really want to make sure I'm homing in on. I'm not complaining about what I'm seeing Fire right now. I'm loving it, and watching this match tonight against Fury, it really had me take a step back and say, wouldn't it be interesting now that Impact Wrestling is part of the of the Access TV family tree? Wouldn't it be awesome if you could see, because you already have a little bit of a mutual partnership there between Impact and WOW, but wouldn't it be even more badass, more cooler, if you saw a scenario come about where over on Impact Wrestling, the Impact upper management, they're seeing the continued success and the great work, the dedication that Kiera is putting in over on the WOW side of things, and to their credit, they have been implementing some of those over on Impact. But let's really take it even a step further. I feel that with the current pace that Kiera is on right now, at least over on the Impact for both brands, but I'll lean a little bit more towards Impact since there's a lot more history over there. You've got the perfect ingredients in building up Kiera to be a mega babyface that could feud with Tessa Blanchard for that Knockouts championship. And if you want to sweeten the pot even more, you can really up the ante a bit, and you could have Kiera and Tessa follow each other on both brands, and maybe everything could culminate in a winner take all, right? Both of those titles are on the line if it gets to that point, depending on if the people over at WOW even want to entertain something like that. But with the great partnership that they've had in kind of exchanging talents and everything, this past year plus, like, you would just think that, kind of going in that direction, why not? It'd be something really cool. But yeah, I'm just continuing to be amazed at her work, marveled by it. Really, I sincerely mean that. She's come a long way. Fury defeating Fire, or correction, I always see this as a tongue twister because it's like Fury, Fire, Fire defeating Fury. Fire, otherwise known as Kiera Hogan. Forgive me if I just keep referring to her as Kiera Hogan, because that's honestly what I'm used to there. Fire winning via the fire burner there, which was kind of like a spinning fisherman suplex, kind of like a modified version with a pin attempt attached to that. Post-match, we had saw Fire get attacked by those other psycho girls. Adrenaline, of all people, Adrenaline, aka Diamante, had came to Fire's aid. Pretty much was able to break up the scuffle and everything. And we saw the Psycho sisters, they pretty much just rolled out after that. They didn't want anything else to do. Yeah, even though they could have kept it on, because at this point it's like, well, it's only a 3-on-2 handicap. What the hell, you know? But nah, they just did not want anything else to do with those girls, so they let it be. And post-match, David McLean, he grabbed a microphone, trying to get post reactions from both ladies as far as what had just happened and everything. And, you know, Fire, she appreciated. See, I almost want to call her Diamante. See, you guys got to forgive me because that's what I'm kind of used to her from over in Impact Wrestling and all that. Adrenaline is the new name she's dubbed in WoW. So it'll take me a while, folks. You got to work with me here because some of these names, it's like, okay, now they're known as this person. So I got to make sure I refer to them as this person. But you get where I'm coming from. So Adrenaline, we'll refer to her as that from here on now. Pretty much was in the back, saw what was happening, didn't like what she was seeing, wanted to help out Fire, and Fire saying, hey, look, you know, I appreciate you, and you know, I love you, I appreciate you, appreciate everything you do. And so they decided to make it official. You're kind of like, make what official, right? David McLean, right? Like, of course, us at home as well. What are we making official here? What was official was that Adrenaline and Fire, they've teamed up. They are going to be entering the WoW Tag Team Tournament. And I was tweeting with some of you guys and just sounding off on some key things I had thought about tonight's WoW. And one of the things that I had put out there, I said, wow, that's badass. That's really cool that in some shape or form that the real life couple, Kiera Hogan and Adrenaline, that's really cool that they're able to come together and they're working with each other on WoW this season. That's pretty badass. Yeah, in case you guys don't know, because we had talked about this a couple of weeks ago, as a matter of fact, Kiera Hogan had revealed on social media just a couple of months back. Matter of fact, it was in July. She had revealed that she has been in a long-term relationship with Adrenaline. So I think that's really, really freaking cool how everything just, and I kind of love how, you know, if you know your wrestlers and you know the stories, you know, what's going on in their lives from what they put out there on social media and everything that they want for fans to know publicly, you know, then you're kind of like, wow, this is actually pretty cool. Of course, I'm sure some of you all may be kind of wondering, so we kind of got that nod of the couple, but we really didn't get it. Is that maybe something we can expect during this season of WoW? And I'm going to say no. Because the way that they had set it up tonight in introducing this team, they are aware of each other. So you have that indication that at some point these two, their paths have crossed prior to WoW. And there is that little bit of a nod, even though it wasn't a drawn out segment post-match. You did have that nod that these two are aware of each other, they're acquaintances, but that's pretty much as far as it goes. So it's almost like you're watching these two characters team up, and in essence you kind of are if you really want to get technical with it and everything, but that's as far as it went, as far as past affiliation, some type of a connection or whatever, and I'm fine with that. I know we're in this day and age right now where we got a lot of people on social media, they want to go in that whole direction about, you know, the LGBTQ, and that's cool and everything, but I don't know. I think honestly, if WoW decides they want to go even further down that path, that's up for them to try and figure out, right? But for now, it's just all about good, fun entertainment, right? And that's exactly what they did there. Let's continue on, talk about some of these other matches that happened tonight. We only had about 4 matches total, by the way. Next matchup, we had Chantilly Chella take on Voodoo Dow. Chantilly did not like the fact that one Siren was in the corner of Voodoo Doll, so she went in the back and grabbed her friend Sassy Massey to have her back at ringside. Great matchup. This was another one. Enjoyed this. I mean, Chantilly Chella coming in with the kicks, man. Loving it, loving it. My girl coming in with those serious freaking kicks. Couldn't get enough of it. Could not get enough of it. She's growing on me, Chantilly Chella. She's growing on me, I gotta tell you. Closing moments of that matchup, Chantilly Chella, she had connected with a diamond cutter, almost very similar to what we had saw a couple of weeks ago. Looked like the match was in the books. Referee had got distracted, however, by Siren. Voodoo Doll would counter with the Voodoo Driver, and 1, 2, 3, match is pretty much over and done with. Let me check one thing here. Just want to make sure. Yeah, okay. For some reason, I was thinking my audio wasn't going there for a second. Sorry about that, folks. All right, so yeah. Meanwhile, for those of you that remember the cliffhanger from last week with regards to Princess Aussie being kidnapped by Voodoo and Siren, well, we did see a little bit of a continuation from that. Before this matchup had came about, we saw this video package that had showed Voodoo Doll putting on this curse or whatnot, and it kind of seemed as though Princess Aussie was in some type of a trance, if you will. She was in some type of a lost dimension slash plane, whatever you want to call it, and Voodoo Doll's voice can be heard throughout, basically saying to Princess Aussie, you need to give into the fire already. You need to give into your heart and its darkest desires, because you can have this power all you want in this stick or whatever, but it doesn't mean anything if it's broken, right? So Voodoo Doll just basically stirring the pot here, trying to have Princess Aussie cave into her dark side, and it looks as though that's exactly what had happened, because it's almost kind of like a moth to a flame. Boom, whatever light, that pure light that was in Princess Aussie, it went out as she collapsed on the ground. So you're kind of like, okay, well, at this point, phase 1 of the transformation is complete. So at this point, all right, I'm curious, can we get a little something next week? Want to know what's happening with Princess Aussie. Nice continuation from what happened last week there with the cliffhanger of her being kidnapped and everything. Next up, we had got a package for Lana Star, as that was setting up the third match of the night, as Lana Star had teamed up with Faith the Lioness to take on Grits N Glam, Jessie Jones, and Amber O'Neal. So the video package for Lana Star, it explained perfectly what Lana Star is all about, how she had acquired the services of lawyer Sofia Lopez to ultimately put herself in a position where she was queen dominance in women of wrestling. And then you just got the history of all the proteges that were under her in the past and everything, and how everything had led to her acquiring the services of Amber O'Neal, how she betrayed Amber O'Neal, and how she ultimately transformed Amber into the Beverly Hills Babe. It wasn't long or drawn out. It was great bullet points. And I got to say, that video package, it felt like maybe it was a 3-minute package, if not less than that. And they told you everything you needed to know about Lana Star if you were kind of new to her and everything. Great recap. Everything leading up to Amber being let go from, Lana Star, basically, right? And we get that match, that third match, Lana Star, Faith the Lion is taking on Jessie Jones, Amber O'Neal. I love the story that was being told with this match. I was a little bit concerned too, but I should know better, because come on, man. We're talking David McLean. We're talking Selena Majors. Combine those decades of wrestling experience. And I'll tell you where I had a little bit of trepidation. I had a little bit of trepidation when the match began. And I like that Jessie Jones. I don't know what I was thinking. Forgive me there. I like how Jessie Jones was beginning the match, and she was facing Faith the Lioness. And this was about, okay, so you've got over on the other side, Jessie Jones, Amber. You got 2 in-ring veterans years of experience. Combined, they outrank the hell out of Faith the Lioness. Okay, let's see how this goes with Faith. And Faith is getting owned. Kudos to her. As far as the story, how everything was laid out with this match, the way it was booked, it was perfect. When Faith the Lioness realizes, man, I'm kind of getting my ass handed to me. I kind of need some help here. That's where I was a little bit concerned, because I thought at one point Faith was going to get the one up on Jessie, and then it was just going to be Faith and Lana just ganging up on Jessie the whole time, vast majority of the match, set it up ultimately for Amber O'Neal to get the hot tag. I thought maybe that was the direction we were going to go. And it was kind of like, I don't really know if I want to put it all out there in just one episode. We should stretch this out for a couple of weeks. We got a long season to go after all. 24 episodes total, right? But luckily, it didn't go in that direction. Instead, the story that they told was once Faith realized she was getting herself owned here, and she tried to look for Lana Starr, Lana did not want to be tagged. At one point, we see Lana just flat out drop to the floor. She was on top of the apron. She just dropped it like, nope, not happening. And you're like, ooh, okay. Like, we see how it is now. And it just kept happening like that. Now, eventually, Lana Starr, she got tagged without wanting it and without knowing it, because in the closing moments of the match, if I remember it right, I want to say it was Jessie Jones that was in the ring, and she was still fighting Faith. I believe Jessie had sent, it's coming back to me now. I believe Jessie had sent Faith into the ropes. And as she was going into the ropes, she kind of bumped into Lana, who's just, being a heel and just saying things to the crowd and everything, not paying attention to the in-ring action as her back is turned to the ring. And so pretty much Faith bumps into her that way. And that's how Lana gets inadvertently tagged in. I want to even say there might have been a little bit of a tag from Faith, just kind of slapping Lana on the back or something like that. And boom, officially she's legit. Lana, pretty shocked, trying to figure out what the hell just happened there. But by the time she was able to process what was up, well, match was pretty much over, as Jessie Jones pretty much sent her flying back inside the ring, and applied a armbar on her and made her tap out. And that pretty much was it for those girls. So what's going to be possibly the ramifications of that? And, I find the pairing of Faith the Lioness and Lana Starr very interesting. I got to check with my boy Mish, but I remember last season when we were doing the WoW recaps, I remember specifically saying, that Faith the Lioness, her coming out as the baby face and everything. If you guys recall, I had talked about how I had a little bit of concern with it. I liked her look and everything, but I felt that maybe she served better as a heel. And I got to see if I can pull up the audio of that, but I vaguely remember saying something along the lines of maybe it would be better if she were to pair up with a Beverly Hills Babe. I might even said she would do better pairing with Lana Starr, or I might have just said the Beverly Hill Babes, both of them. So but I know I said something along those lines. So I'm actually pretty like, oh, it's nice to see everything has kind of gone in this direction. I love it. No complaints right there. Of course, the new team of Jessie Jones and Amber O'Neal, they are dubbing themselves Grits N Glam. I like that name. I like that name. It's kind of catchy. I can see some interesting logos coming from that. Speaking of logos and all that, I am ecstatic that pretty much as soon as this show is over, actually, I'm actually going to be putting in a order on the WOWE site. That's the Women of Wrestling website. I believe the E stands for entertainment. I'm going to actually be putting in an order with them. I'm going to buy me a WOW t-shirt. Definitely going to be representing. Yeah, definitely want to represent. Let's keep going. We got one more match to talk about. By the way, one thing to look out for with regards to next week's WOW. Since Faith the Lioness, like off the break, the disappointment there, how much patience is Lana Starr going to have towards her newest protege. Is things about to blow up off the break, or that's the real thing you got to be asking yourself there. How much patience is Lana gonna have, or is it gonna be a case where we won't have to find out for very long, because Lana, when it counts the most and she's depending on Faith to come through, Faith is going to do what Faith does best and look out for herself and be like, bye, sister, or bye, Felicia. So we'll have to wait and see how that plays out. We had our last matchup of the night, or fourth matchup of the night, which was the Beast taking on Jungle Grrrl. Loved this match. Loved it. Very intense, very physical, very dominating. Man, loved it. I mean, I was happy that the match did not go as long as it did, because it really felt as though, man, because by this time, I'm looking at the clock. Okay, well, we got about 10 minutes here. That's not really enough time to really tell this story that we want to tell. And my whole thought process behind that was, man, something like this, you should do in the coming weeks and really give these two women and a couple of segments. Yeah, you definitely want to give this match with these two women the segments that it deserves, because they can tell a really great, riveting story. But the little bit that we had saw tonight, enjoyed it. I loved it. I couldn't complain, man. You hear me a lot. I loved it. I do. I sincerely do. Closing moments of this matchup. We had saw the Beast connect with a shoulder tackle that unfortunately connected with the referee. Because Jungle Grrrl, she did not absorb it. She pretty much moved out the way just in time. And unfortunately, the ref got caught up. That tackle pretty much sent the ref rolling out of the ring as Beast comes to realizing what happened. She's trying to check on the referee. Jungle Grrrl comes up from behind, and she delivered this nice, it was like a slow, delayed German suplex with bridge pin attempt. And you just got to see it for yourself when you watch the encore. You'll see exactly what I'm talking about when I say it was like delayed. Because it was almost, it wasn't one of those snap German suplexes with the bridge pin attempt. It wasn't anything like, it was like a delayed, the hang time was weird the way she had did it. I mean, it was like watching it in slow-mo with a little bit of hang time as the Beast is just in midair, kind of like. But it was a nice sequence. I mean, she executed it very beautifully. 1, 2, 3. Like, okay, match should be over, but there's no referee. So, like, what the hell is going on here, right? You're like, what's going on? And referee had never came to. Jungle Grrrl is looking around, looking pretty pissed off or whatever. And you would think that with a match like this, okay, so now officially, maybe once we have this match in the books, okay, at least we'll kind of know one side of potentially who's going to be going on to eventually face Tessa Blanchard for the Wild Championship. I say half because you also got to remember Havoc. She wants a shot at that title as well. And with a girl like Hazard in her corner, shit, man, it's like it's really 2 against 1. So you're kind of saying to yourself, okay, well, how exactly are we going to address the Havoc side of things? Because Hazard is floating around there too. What happens right here, right? You can't do another, we'll do another triple threat. You can't really go in that direction. Now, if you were to go on ahead and do another triple threat to finally officially determine a new number 1 contender, then by default, you got to do the right thing and say, hey, no interference is involved in this matchup. If anybody comes from any of the participant sides and interfering, then the ramifications, there's going to be a fine, and by default that person is ejected from the match, and that's it. They're no longer in the running, right? So who knows, maybe we'll see a little something in the coming weeks. But as the referee is out, no other referee comes to try to get the cover there for Jungle Grrrl. Jungle Girl is just looking real pissed off, belligerent. Tessa Blanchard comes in, steel briefcase in hand, wham! Hits Jungle Girl just smack in the freaking forehead. And as the Beast comes to her feet, Tessa Blanchard makes eye contact with her and says, "You're welcome." So keep in mind that silver briefcase, you kind of go, well, wait a minute now. That silver briefcase, that's the same silver briefcase that Sophia Lopez had gave to freaking Tessa Blanchard a couple of weeks ago. Remember that? That was the episode where Tessa had faced Serpentine, which was a fantastic matchup. So it's like, okay, so we got another piece of the puzzle here. Just what exactly is going on? And most importantly, what's up with the contents in that briefcase? That's the $1 million question. Hopefully we'll know a little bit more next week, because I'm telling you, seeing the stuff that we had saw these past couple of weeks, I'm very curious what's in that briefcase, because I'm kind of having a Pulp Fiction moment here. What you got in the silver case? I want a close-up of that face. Here comes car chase. I got to know what's going on in that briefcase, man. Overall, very good episode of WoW. There was a little bit of audio issues. I don't know if anybody else had peeped it out, but at one point, I'm trying to think where it was during the match. I want to say it probably had happened. I want to say it maybe was around the Lana Star, Faith the Lioness. Yeah, it was around Lana Star, Faith the Lioness taking on Jessie Jones and Amber O'Neal. There was a little bit of audio issues during the match. It might be barely noticeable to the keen eye, but if you're kind of like me and other folks, you make your rounds, listen to podcasts, you can usually know, hey, the host isn't using their usual audio setup. They sound drastically different, and that's either a good thing or it's a bad thing. And in the case of during this match, at one point, it sounded like David McLean was doing audio from a remote location, and he was using a cheap microphone or something like that. I don't know if there was some type of technical issue during the initial taping, and he pretty much had to go back in and do his parts over or whatever. There was even, they edited it just right. The episode, they edited it just right, but you can actually hear a bit of a skip in the commentating where it just overlapped, unfortunately. Like it wasn't even one of those, and then the co-host jumps in and says a little something. It wasn't anything like that at all. And I would say if you really weren't paying attention to it, you wouldn't have noticed it, but it probably had occurred for about, I would say, 90 seconds. It was really weird because it was drastically different. But then from then on out, everything was good. And look, that's not me nitpicking it or anything like that, so don't take it personal. I just got a keen ear because I do so much as far as audio remixing, editing, and all that other stuff. But that is it for WoW Women of Wrestling, October 5th, 2019. Your review reaction edition of the RCWR show. A quick reminder, we've got the WWE Hell in a Cell pay-per-view that is going to be coming up this Sunday, October 6th, 2019. I'm not sure what's going on with this pay-per-view, because at the time that we are doing this show right now, and it's really sucked, because there are many of us that love giving our pay-per-view predictions and all that. We all participate in this nice, it's not really a draft pool, but it's basically a predictions pool. And all shows get together, and it's kind of, okay, let's see who is going to have pretty much everything right or come closest to having everything right. And I tell you, man, just following up, because we did review SmackDown, less than 24 hours ago. At the time right now that we're doing this broadcast for you guys, there's only been announced 4 matches. Just 4 matches. What's changed? Well, look, you still got Seth taking on Wyatt for the championship there. You got Becky versus Sasha Banks, Hell in a Cell match for the Raw Women's Championship. Daniel Bryan and Roman Reigns take on Eric Rowan, Luke Harper. And I think this is the other match that was just added. I could be mistaken. Bayley defending the SmackDown Women's Championship against Charlotte Flair. So at the time of this recording right now, there's only 4 matches. So a lot of us, Sally, as far as predictions go, it doesn't count because the full card hasn't been released yet. So I know it's going to be entertaining. I just hope that, I don't know. I just don't, in all my years of covering the WWE, it's just weird, is all I'm saying. It's just weird. It should be a fun pay-per-view regardless. But we are going to be live as soon as Hell in a Cell concludes. It'll be a special post-show that you guys will be able to check out. We'll have that streaming on YouTube. We'll also have it streaming via the RCWR Show app, available in the Google Play Store for you Android users. Facebook Live, we're going to connect with Facebook Live and Discord. And special shout out to those of you that join up the RCWR Show Discord. You can find the information in the episode description. You can also get at me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at the RCWR Show. I added, but download that Discord app. It's free. You can interact with me in the community in between the shows. And what I'd like to try to do, if we can get enough people, I would like to start having people be patched into the show on pay-per-view nights to sound off on what they had thought about the pay-per-view. So you'll be able to do that through Discord at no cost to you. It's free to download. Just go look in the app store there, look for Discord. It's free to download, easy to set yourself up in a couple of seconds, and you get so much really cool access to me and other fans, like-minded wrestling fans of the RCWR show, all that good stuff. So check all that out, but we'll be live for you guys covering that pay-per-view. Should be a lot of fun. All right, so that is going to do it. One more time, special shout out to our sponsors for tonight's episode of the RCWR show. One more time, special shout out to NANA-BANA. Check them out at nana-banana.com, where you can buy unique, one-of-a-kind handbags, purses, backpacks, and more, all while looking fresh, trendy, and stylish. NANA-BANA. Also, if you are looking to start losing weight right now without starving yourself, drinking nasty teas, and eating those very, very bad Smart One meals, then check out Chris Hart and his website. Chris Hart, that's Hart, H-A-R-T-E, chrishart88.clickfunnels.com/OPTIN. Also, a seat at the table or part of the meal, creating a culture of diversity, equity, and inclusion. A book by Kimberly Bussey Lewis. That book is available on Amazon.com. Special shout out to LilHeathens.com, a hot new brand for street and athletic wear. It's not your average brand. It's got Angst and Attitude. It's launching very soon. If you miss all of that information, we've included links in the episode description of this very episode. That is going to do it, my pretty babies. Until Hell in a Cell, wishing all y'all to be safe. Most importantly, be kind to one another. If you're new, welcome. Make sure you subscribe, share, like, all that good stuff. Appreciate it. Thanks, guys.